Fatebinder. I feel my sisters twisting around inside me, Binder. I can't tell whether they're dancing or trying to cut their way out. Or both. Maybe, like, all this passion, this wild, frenzied lust, it's actually coming from me. I'm just giving it my sisters' voices. Or something. It feels like all that's in front of me is a gorge so wide and so deep that there's nothing to see but wide open air. Say we come out of this with minds and bodies intact, you've got the tears and the Overlord has everything else. Then what? Damn, Fatebinder, you're sounding more like me every day. I wonder if the voices saw this coming when he tossed me on Law Dog detail. The voices... I can't imagine him bending the knee to you. Whatever you've got planned, if you're walking into the heart of his power, you'd better be kitted for war. Are you just now looking for one? The Voices probably has 16 or 17 plots and counterplots already in motion. The Voices has more years behind him than a person can rightly imagine. If anyone's ever dug up a way to cheat the Void, it would be him. What if that way is me? We know he was preparing me for something. What if he made some trap door into me? What if he's hiding inside me right now? You know, I'd never considered trying that. Got any suggestions on that front? Now you're going to have me asking how I'm not myself? And don't try and turn me into a sage. We've got shit to do, right? Don't let me hold you up. And thanks, Fatebinder. Arcbinder.
My Lord Binder, you have something which requires my attention? What can I do for you?
Greetings, Archon. How may I assist? Of course. How can I help? This feels like a logical continuation of Kairos' Edict of Execution. The Archons are still not playing nicely, and so Kairos would let his children fight it out for the title of Lord of the Tears. You are close enough to Graven Ash that you might be able to convince him that fighting is not in his best interest. You just need to somehow pierce his pride and show him you're as worthy of his fealty as Kairos is. Of course. How can I help? I am nothing if not a semi-reliable font of knowledge. What did you want to discuss? I know everything, except for who's been saying that. What's on your mind? I know everything, except for who's been saying that. What's on your mind? My knowledge is largely academic, not to be mistaken for practical. The earliest settlers made note of the Beastmen, so they were here before us, but not before the older realms. By all accounts, the tribes do not have record of a time before the Old Walls. So, the logical conclusion is that they arrived after the Old Realms, but before Five Wives.
Ancestors of beast women roamed lands many seasons before old walls grew tall. Stories passed through mystic blood tell of time with no walls. Humans will think what humans want are worse than first season cubs.
There have been thousands of tribes throughout history. Most dissolve within a Acquireman's lifespan. The stronger females branch off and make their own tribes with tougher names. Then the King of Azure rounds you up and puts you to work. The Stone Stalkers are the most powerful of remaining tribes, thriving now that Azure has fallen. As for the rest, the old Talons of Frozen Cloud, the Trollhooks, the Kolakar, the Katvanas, the Jaw Snap, all gone, I think. And then there's the Shadow Hunters. They're all but extinct.
Stone Stalkers are largest, but not strongest of tribes. Mantaborn of stalwart seas are much tougher and more ruthless than mewling stone whelps. Shadow Hunters from Darkness too were better, smarter killers. Are dead, but can be rebirthed anew. Once disfavored, have been hunted extinct. Kills in shadow needs only rut good mates for best tribe to thrive again.
My mistake. Noted. They are true to their names and live like beasts. Clothing and artifice seem to have little value to them, whereas rutting and killing are the reason they wake in the morning.
Are not so different from humans called soldiers. Do such humans also not wake to thoughts of killing and rutting with each newborn son? Human who is elder, bitter smelling like coal ink, has many opinions of beast women, but does not want to know beast woman's opinion of humans?
Oh, not saying all beastmen are stupid. I'm just saying I've encountered numerous beasts that seem wanting for smarts and initiative. Maybe it's how they're raised, or the brood that raises them.
Prey is often surprised by cunning of hunter. Can see in eyes in moment of death, but beast woman is not hunting humans in pack. Or maybe beast woman is...
Why, yes. Point taken. You'd want to ask the authority, Sage Quillborn. She lived with the Kolakar for a few span back in 404. Some truly fascinating findings. She noted that every successful tribe has a singular female leader. It's Prima. She noted that beastmen show fluid loyalty to new matrons. They adapt well to changing leaders, but they never change the relatively simple but strict hierarchical model. Few beastmen have accepted fealty to Kairos. It would seem the notion of bowing to a person you have not seen in the flesh is insanity. This inability to bow to the Overlord will no doubt doom the species, for Kairos does not suffer such token insults.
I trust all is well, my glorious Archon. I'm honored you wish to speak. What is it you need? Kairos has forced our hand. If we do not hunt down the other Archons, they'll come for us. And yes, I said other Archons. Your power now sets you apart from the common mortal. From the common threat. You have an alliance with Graven Ash. Now's the time to take advantage of that trust. Perhaps you can appeal to the old Archon of War, get him to lay down his arms and be your vassal? It's that or fight him, and I'd rather save our strength for the voices of Nerat. Now, the ideal plan would be to pit the disfavored directly against the chorus, so we could focus on the voices of Nerat with as little interference from his lackeys as possible. You are held in high regard in the court. Tunon doesn't seem the type to bow to anyone, but perhaps Tunon could help you destroy the other Archons, giving you time to figure out what to do with your old master.
Fatebinder, thank you for answering my summons. This could very well be the defining hour of the conquest. I first want to make it clear why we've assembled today. After the collapse of Vendrian's Well and the start of the Civil War, it became clear to me that there must have been some great fault on the part of the Archons. We come together to root out the source of our troubles and determine which of the Archons has sowed more chaos during the war. Much has happened since I dispatched you on that mission. With Kairos' mandate that only one Archon may rule the Tiers, the verdict is now more important than ever. We cannot allow this conquest to descend into total anarchy. You backed Graven Ash and his disfavored army at the start of the Civil War. I know that you must have been torn in your decision, but I assure you that your loyalty to the Archon isn't in question here. Only your findings will be weighed with their due importance. Hard work deserving of commendation, I'm sure. Such details can be sorted out when the war is over. In your professional and objective opinion, which of the two Archons is guilty of sowing the most chaos in the Tiers? That is not an option. You were tasked with determining the guilt of one Archon and one Archon alone. Choose. And so the charges are declared. I'm confident you've come with prepared arguments and research, as is expected of your station. In accordance to Kairos' legal custom, you will state the crimes against the Archon and offer up your evidence. The court will weigh your claims on their merits. I would encourage you to make as many claims as possible. Bringing charges against an Archon is no small matter. They are not accountable to Kairos' laws with the same rigidity as an average citizen, so it may be more difficult to justify their guilt. Provided that you have the evidence to back them, of course. To make a claim lacking evidence will only harm your case in the court's eyes. Is this understood? Then we are ready to begin. State your claims, Fatebinder. You may proceed at your own pace. Very well. I have weighed your evidence against the charges. The Court of Tunon the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice, and Counsel to Kairos the Overlord finds the voices of Nerat guilty of sowing chaos, flaunting his authority, and using a time of war to advance his own twisted ambition. The sentence is death. In accordance with Kairos' laws, the court headsman will deliver the verdict and its consequences to our former colleague. I summon Blood and Mark to appear. The court has greater need of legal minds than it does of headsmen, but I will allow this predisposition of yours as long as it doesn't conflict with your duties. Deliver this writ to the guilty, and execute them with the court's approval. First, there is the matter of the petitioner who so blindly followed their corrupt and reprobate master. Given the court's findings, I judge you guilty by association with the voices of Nerat. As he perpetrated his crimes, you had the audacity to represent the Scarlet Chorus in this hall of law. What of his fate, student? You proved the voice's guilt. His servant is yours to dispense with as you see fit. As fair and compromising as ever. Nunaval, escort this one from the court. The time for discipline and reintegration will come after our business is concluded.
Your campaign ends here, maggot of unreason. We have no intention of joining the uncounted corpses littered in your path. For all the fealty to the disfavored, has the Archon of War ever set you above his northern inbreds? No. He would have sacrificed you 10 times over to save some brain-dead grunt from stubbing his toe. We could have been magnificent together. But instead, we will have your bones fashioned into a scepter, your skin knotted into a belt, and your tongue fed to crows. At least crows know the meaning of respect and gratitude.
Fatebinder, wait. The Voices has been weaving at my loom for years. I'm saying that he pointed us at Crocus, he led us to Fort Squander, and that he wanted me to learn what I learned there. I'm saying that maybe everything's gone according to his plan, including this.
You presume we possess a more than passing interest in this trumped-up barrister? Whatever our dear adjudicator lacks for, his rationality has never been in question. How are we to know that one of Tunon's students would engage in such ridiculous folly? Your paranoia delights us. However, a stint in infiltration has complicated you delectably.
You think I didn't work out your little plot? That I didn't fathom why my sisters got all mixed up inside of me?
Don't dance around the accusation, girl. Seize it like a lover.
Go fuck yourself, Archon. We've both been here before, haven't we? I'm right back to the day when my sisters died in front of me, only this time I'm truly afraid. Maybe my idiot brother has something to do with it. The last time this happened, I froze. Now I'm more afraid of what happens if we attack.
Listen to her, Fatebinder. She shows wisdom beyond her years.
The Voices of Nerat is a terrifying, centuries-old mastermind, and neither of us have been around as long as him. That point seems worth emphasizing. I really, really hope you understand that he's going to hurt us.
It's true. We promise.
If you're up to it, then I'm with you. I've killed my share of gang bosses, and it doesn't take a genius to know when a leader is flagging and needs to be replaced. No offense, Archon.
None taken, wretched girl. We have never been more proud of you than at this moment. You are everything the chorus strives to become. Perhaps not all is lost between us, Fatebinder. Perhaps you would be willing to accept a settlement of our grievances in exchange for the return of our fury.
Sorry, Voices. Looks like I found a new Archon to follow. Sounds like a plan to me, boss. I'll sleep a lot better knowing there's one less parasite in the world.
Our little spy is right about one thing, you know. You're going to die, screaming. But your awareness will live for eternity, suffering within our magnificence. Attend to us, darlings! There is more than one way to skin a Fatebinder, and we will show you as many as possible. Come! Gather around and watch us destroy the Fatebinder. Approach us, you insignificant little morsel. We would have a word with you. Did you think we could not make ourselves heard if we wished it, you naive and despicable fledgling? Whatever the thoughtless rabble may whisper about this moment, don't delude yourself into thinking you are powerful, that you matter, or that someone out there isn't greater still. We came from nothing. Our deeds defined us to the people, and the people knew us as a monster. Did you imagine we were always flames, voices, and secrets? Think on that, you Archon of misguided decisions. Couldn't you? How much you've changed since this war began. Imagine if you subjected that same pressure to centuries of time. We don't have to wonder, but you do. You have all the time in the world. No! Not like this! We were so close!
Good riddance, asshole. Shouldn't have screwed with me and my sisters.
see no fresh blood on your armor, but I sense that something has happened. Where once many congregated, there is now an absence. That can mean only one thing. The voices of Narat is no more. Can this be true? At last, the Scarlet Chorus are undone. We can properly conduct this war and subjugate the Tears as Kairos intended. That I can see this day, while the voices of Narat grows cold. He would never forget this indignity. In time, yes. No doubt they will have to be as treacherous as he was, though I cannot imagine their power will resemble his. For all his multitudes, the voices of Narat was a singular being. Nothing like him has ever existed, or likely will again. Considering how much you've managed to subdue the disorder of the Tears, finalizing our conquest in Kairos' name should be little more than tidying up pockets of discontent. We could have the entire realm subdued under the laws and customs we hold dear within the next span. Yes. I thought we would come to this. I had hoped to avoid the confrontation. Your service to my army has been exemplary, and I hate to lose a friend on the eve of victory. I knew you as Tunon's pupil, but now you are an Archon. And so much more. I would see you continue in your service to Kairos, but as my ally rather than my enemy. Bow in allegiance to me, and Kairos will be appeased. We can govern this lawless land together, and invite the savages into civilized custom. Clearly, the rigors of war have made you simple. The people of this realm can barely feed themselves, much less grow their culture in any meaningful way. We are their only salvation. They deserve nothing more than to be brought under our control. There is no point to this line of speculation. The Tears will be consumed by the vaulted north, and the dominion of Kairos will be complete. And yet, your claim rings of thoughtfulness. Wisdom has tempered your perspective. This much I recognize. What you propose is incredible, impossible. I am the general of the disfavored legion. I bent the knee once before, humbled myself to Kairos. I cannot do so again. Yours? By what possible right, by what mad ambition do you challenge my... I am not ignorant to the wisdom of your words. They pierce me like a lance through my heart, but there is truth. This conquest has opened old wounds. At times, I have not acted like the leader that my army deserved. I was an accomplished warlord in the earliest days of the Empire. There was no fortress I couldn't breach. No distance I couldn't march. But the years have reduced me. I cared too deeply for my legion to see them suffer. I lost nearly everyone for whom I cared, and suffered for those I sought to protect. I would not wish this for anyone. I submit to your authority as Archon and Master of the Disfavored. Where you lead, I go. Where you command, I follow. Fatebinder, you have proven yourself a truer general than I ever was. I relinquish my hold over these women and men, and place them in your keeping. I ask only that you be good to them, They are far from home, and deserve treatment and leadership befitting their noble blood. I submit to you. As your Archon, I will obey your laws, carry out your orders, and protect whatever ways of life you see fit to impose on the Tiers and beyond. You carry a heavy burden now. It is no small task to lead a legion. Their lives and their deaths are yours to bear. At times, the strain was too much to bear, even for the likes of me. Devotion claims a heavy toll, and over the years it wore me down until... Fine. Ignore an old man's wandering mind. You are yet young, with the world laid out before you. Your soldiers will look to you for guidance. You must be ready to take on any challenge on their behalf. Lead by example. Lead with the iron fist of the disfavored. The time has come to bring glory and triumph to this conquest. Go now, and bring order to what remains of the Tiers. I will stay behind with the army, training and preparing to carry out your will. Archon, you honor us with your presence, and you have brought our barrack back to us. Then let us. War leaves little room for niceties.
You... what, Archon?
I was not aware that you have forces requiring leadership. Aside from the disfavored, of course. A valid point. Though each disfavored stands the equal of 100 Tiersmen, they cannot be everywhere at once. Your new role will require you raise forces of your own, and I can think of few finer commanders for them than Barrack.
General!
Soon you may wear that title yourself, son of Barraconin. See that you strive always to remain worthy of it.
Yes, sir! The protection... I feel it lifting! We have done what you sought, Archon. I am truly free of graven ash, if such can be freedom called. Let us return to your smith.